Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Our Cube Table Talks, where we keep it real,
where we keep it relevant,
and where we keep it raw. I am one of your co-hosts, Dr. Marcya Burden, and next to me
I am Pastor Kimberly Man, and we have some beautiful co-hosts here with us. And so we're so excited to have them. We know them, but we want you to get to know them. So we're going to have them introduce themselves, starting over here on the far end.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Cicely Thomas. I'm one of the youth ministry leaders here at Oakwood University. Happy to be
here. Hi, my name is Summer Cedar, and I'm also one of your youth ministry people. I'm in the mix with Pastor Man and Miss Cicely.
So they talked about their ministry stuff, okay? But they didn't talk about what they be doing. She a cook, she a chef, and she leads all of the people everywhere in Huntsville as she manages all of the bus routes. They're amazing people.
Hold on, wait. No, is this a youth ministries takeover?
It's not a takeover.
I
did not invite them as youth ministry leaders. I invited them as young adult professionals who have amazing things to share. So.
No. We're all a team. We're all a team. So let's jump into what's good, church.
Yes.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
What's good, everybody? So we are back with our very first segment called What's Good, Church?
Yeah.
And for this segment, we talk about all things church, what's happening in our church, maybe what's happening in your church, maybe what's happening in the church. And we're going to talk today about having gender-neutral bathrooms in church. So we know that we are in an era of pronouns, right? And of people ascribing to various pronouns that may be other than their assigned birth gender. And there are many laws that are being passed that are talking about having being more gender inclusive, and trying to make those who are non-binary or who don't identify as their birth gender, allowing them to feel safe in different spaces. And church is a space that LGBTQIA+, but more specifically, people who identify transgender or whatever, and I'm not saying whatever to be casual, right? So please don't come for me. I have no money if you sue me. But trying to make church be a safe space for everybody. By everybody, we mean those who are differently gendered than we are. So do you think that in the church, as we are talking about the church being a safe space for all people, that all people includes transgender people, and we should create spaces for those transgender people to feel safe? So should we have maybe a bathroom, maybe there's a stall in the bathroom that is specifically for gender neutral, or maybe just a space that's gender neutral? What do you guys think?
I mean, it's a tough subject. It is. Because on one hand, I'm like, well, no, we need to have, let's keep it simple. But, I mean, no disrespect when I say that either. But on the other hand, I do understand if we receive all people and we accept everybody and we want everybody to be comfortable, then I think we should probably make some efforts for both sides. So those who are coming in and for those who, PC way to say this, so they don't feel shocked if they see something other than what they're used to seeing in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
That way there's no judgment, there's no miscommunication, there's none of that tension there, like I'm looking at you like what you doing in here. Mm-hmm. That kills a lot of that. Makes it a little bit more safer so everybody feels comfortable.
Mm-hmm. I think I agree. I think it has to do with a respect level. I feel like in some rooms they don't feel respected, which is why they claim or like they want to stake claims on certain spaces. So that's a space that they can control. There's no one in there judging them. There's no one in there trying to make them feel out of place. But at the same time, I think it's a shock to us as like a church culture to see things that the Bible doesn't necessarily agree with being accommodated in the church. But I think that there's a level of give and take. If our goal is to save as many people as possible, if some of those people are LGBTQIA+, it shouldn't be such a far-fetched idea to make them feel welcomed. And their version of feeling welcome is, I feel like I should be included in the basic bare minimum as something as small as having a bathroom.
Yeah, I agree. And as we're having the conversation, I want us to be very clear that LGBTQIA+ is a broad spectrum, but we're specifically talking about transgender and people who identify other than their birth sex. Because when we talk about like LG, right? That or how you identify in your sexual attraction, that's different than your anatomy. So we're here just specifically speaking about maybe, and maybe it's deeper than that. I just want to make sure that, because you know the various language and how you say things can get really messy and people can be offended if you don't say it properly. So I just want to make sure that we are addressing things in the best way that we know how.
Yeah, I would say I think it just boils down to accommodations, period. I don't think that it should be so much emphasis on transgender, because if that's the case, then why do we have emphasis on mothers, you know, pregnant women, and having why do we have emphasis on family, right? I don't think that the church should necessarily pick and choose what they decide to have emphasis on, but I think it just to have a restroom that is accommodating for anybody who's in a category that might not be your traditional male and female, I think is appropriate.
Yes. And I would say, so as someone who is a mom, having gender neutral bathrooms is important, not necessarily for people who have different genders or may identify other than their birth sex, but because there have been times where my male husband needed to take my female daughter to the bathroom, right? There have been times where I've had all 3 kids and it's going to be me and the girls and the boy all in the bathroom together, right? And you're careful because you're like, baby, don't close your eyes. You got women who are pulling stuff up and tucking stuff in. And my son, he's not like, oh my goodness, but you have boys who are like, oh, mama, what's that? You know? And vice versa. There's urinals in male bathrooms, and there are many dads, single fathers who are trying to navigate life with a daughter, and they can't take her into the male bathroom because it's a male bathroom, you know what I mean? And then you take them, like, then you're asking a random stranger, like, hey, can you take my daughter into the bathroom? Yeah. And then you're like, oh gosh, please, I pray that in these 2 minutes and 37 seconds, she's not being abused. There's so many layers to that thing. So I think being inclusive or gender neutral it doesn't have to mean that I am catering to someone who is outside of the biblical scope of normalcy. Absolutely. I am catering to all people. And I think we do need to have bathrooms that are gender neutral, because you have people who are of mixed gender within a family and they need a space to go to the bathroom.
Absolutely.
That's it. Like I think even when we add the extra layer onto that, maybe we make it something that it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, it's just keeping up with the standards, right? Keeping up with the times. You want to make sure that your buildings are accommodating everybody, irregardless of race, color, creed, sexuality, family, single, married, who cares? You know, it should be to where just if we're a house of worship and we have a building for people to come and worship together, then everybody should be accommodated.
Absolutely. Yes, so that's like, instead of it being a mother's room, it needs to be a family room.
Correct.
I mean, part of it is, it's not about let's build a bathroom for people who have had sex changes. No, let's rename the spaces we already have so that they're available to everybody. It's a family room. Yeah. It's a changing room. You know what I'm saying? It is and I even see the little thing on the thing. It says family restroom. That doesn't mean just people who, you know what I'm saying, don't identify as what they are the other. It's a family restroom. So I think those things are interesting. I think the issue with our church will come in is when we start putting the signs on the door.
Right.
What about, so here's the question I have for you all. Should the size be different? Because a lot of times you go to buildings and they have maybe a gender neutral or a family restroom and it's like one stall. And then you go to male or female and it's like 10.
No, I definitely. I mean, coming from that point where she's talking about with family size, I know I've taken my nieces to we need more room. Especially if you got small children, you're trying to change the baby, you know, and then you got another one using. There's a lot going on. So I definitely think you need a little bit more room.
You need your privacy.
Yeah, and your privacy to do what you need to do.
And I think even if you don't have those spaces, you can have in your women's bathroom, like our bathroom has a women's bathroom, and then the last stall has the sink, the toilet, everything in there. And so if you have to go in, you ain't gotta go in and be like, I got, you know what I'm saying, I got different parts, you know what I'm saying? Like, go into the room, go into that bathroom, and nobody has to know, you know what I'm saying? I think the issue is when we feel like people who identify differently are trying to be like, look what I got. I got something. We feel like they're trying to infringe upon our rights instead of we all go to church together. So let's just all be able to worship together. Everybody got to go to the bathroom.
I'm not trying to be funny, y'all. When I have to use the restroom, I should actually use the restroom. I got time to figure out what you guys do. I'm rushing in there. I'm like, where's the open stall? Because I need to use the restroom.
Because I have used the men's bathroom before because I've got to go and I can no longer.
Yeah,
so I understand. I got to do what I got to do.
But I think the bigger point of it is I think having a specific stall would work if there weren't people just lounging in the bathroom. Like sometimes you walk in the bathroom, it's girls in there, like they're just doing whatever. And so there creates a space now where that person has to get from point A, the door, to point B, the stall, and feeling that inclusivity. I don't think it would change the dynamic, but I think it would be something that churches and like specific had to get used to.
Education, I think that would be.
Yeah, and I agree with that because I'm not gonna lie, it would feel very awkward if I'm in the bathroom with my child and a person with a beard and overalls and boots comes in and goes into the stall. I'm gonna go find security because I don't know that you have feminine anatomy. I think this man just walked into the bathroom. So I do think having a specific space is important. What do you think? Do you think that our churches need to have gender neutral spaces so that everybody feels safe or so that it can accommodate all people from all walks of life, families who are different, families who have, maybe the dad is raising all the kids because the mom passed away. Maybe a mom is, she's a mom of all boys and she's got to take her kids to the bathroom. So what do you guys think? Do you think that our churches need gender neutral bathrooms? Tell us in the chat.
And stay tuned because we're going to get into the real world.
Absolutely.
And it's really real out there.
It's real.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Hello, we are back. We're back to our next segment, The Real World. And in this segment, we talk about what's actually happening in our world today. These are typically things that you'll probably see on the news. And today, oh man, and this one is real interesting. We're talking about content creators, right? As you all know, now society, long gone are the days of cable, long gone are the days of traditional media. Now, social media, streaming platforms are everything. So the question that we have today is this: are content creators, do they have like real jobs? Would y'all consider content creating a real job? And if so, why? And if not, why not? What do you all think?
I say yes. Because being a chef who's trying to get content out there so that people can then like help me build my business, it's not as easy as it looks. It's not as easy as filming a video and putting it on social media. You have to find things that capture your audience. You have to find things that capture people that you may never have seen before. And it involves a lot of editing, a lot of hard work, a lot of labor. And they're shooting videos every single day. And they're editing every single day. So I think that when it comes to like, as far as a real job, they're putting in the hours. It's not just fun things that like pop out on the internet.
Yeah.
I completely agree. It's definitely a job. It's not an easy job. I do own a business, And coming from what they call us like a digital immigrant, we were there before the internet, and now we're here after it. And having to keep current.
Wait, pause.
Wait,
Put
Apple,
a comma right there, because what did you say we
So
were?
they call like a digital immigrant. So we were there before, the internet became common in the house. And then now we're here after. So we're having to constantly reinvent ourselves to stay current and be able to keep up with what everything is going on. And so whereas a entrepreneur where you would go out and get clients and cold starts and calls and things like that in a different way, now you are having to solicit your community directly as opposed to hiring somebody. You are that person. You are the person that's in between. It changes with how you decide to put yourself out there. It's not easy. You're the content creator, you're the editor, you're the HR, you're all of those things, all the things that have to do with video. And that's not my strong point. But in owning a business, I'm having to learn that and learn it quickly. With the age gap, learning a little quicker, not quicker. That's not a word. But learning a little quicker than some of my younger counterparts. But it's definitely a job, and it's not an easy job. It's a 24/7 job in your sleep, in your wake.
I mean, let's talk about it from this aspect, because I have a lot to piggyback off. Y'all make great points. But let's talk about this aspect, too, of the fact that when we say content creator, you're up against all of the other people, right, that does your business, and that also, especially in the food industry, is really popular now, depending on what particular aspect of you're in. So how is it to have to consistently try to create? And against AI too, because that's another issue.
No, really, because so for me, you can ask her. I love to find a flavor that hasn't been used before, something that hasn't been invented before, and it's hard because you have people out there who have been creating for years, and now they're finally getting a chance to use a platform to show other people. So I'm over here thinking, I made myself a little peach cobbler drizzle pound cake with a nice, cinnamon cream frosting. It's already been out there. Somebody already did that. So, and their video has like fruit dropping down, things splashing out of the bowl, like things are popping out of the screen. And it's just like, I can't do that at my house. So it's just like, you see people and you see them like going and diving into new things. It's hard to keep up because you always have to figure out a way to keep someone entertained for longer than 15 seconds. And it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It definitely comes more about than what the product you're actually selling. You're selling yourself.
That's I was gonna say.
Like your person, like you created, your cake, but really I'm buying into you, your personality, what you offer, like the story that you created behind that. It's my buy-in.
Absolutely.
And that's not easy.
Yeah, I think content. I hear what you guys are saying, and I absolutely agree with what you guys are saying. However, the content that I see online, I'm like, we just watched you wake up, brush your teeth, do your face, and go for a walk. And I think the reason why I wonder is being a content creator a real job is because you're literally getting paid for people watching you live your life. Right? And I'm not talking about those other people who are creating content to support their business. You guys are creating content to support a business, right? I'm talking about people whose business is, look at me. And I feel like it's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I remember my daughter for her birthday, she was like, what do you want? She was like, I want to take all my friends to Target, and then we get an empty basket and then we put stuff in it and then go buy it. Who, me? Baby, do you not know I work for the church? Who is going to Target and having a shopping spree? But because she sees kids, and this is what they do. It doesn't show them in school. It doesn't show them doing homework. It shows them in Target buying things and just living this life. And it's like, that is not that's not your real life. Now, I have lots of content creators I follow, and I watch what they do. They will have 12 different videos, and they'll have on the same outfit in all the videos. They shot all that content in one day. And then, and maybe the lower levels are doing their own editing, but trust me, they not. They're sending that content off, and they're having somebody else edit it while we are going to work and they're at home. So I don't know. I just feel like a lot of what we consider content creation is really people making money off of us watching their life.
You ain't gonna like me. I think it is real job, even from that aspect. I don't want a camera time. I'm waking up in the morning, watching me brush my teeth, wash my face, deal with my kids, cook, make the sandwich. I gotta make sure I cut it right because they're gonna come for me in the comment sections about the way I cut the sandwich and I didn't at the edge. So like constantly, because I thought about that too. I mean, at first I got annoyed because I was like, man, this is a joke. This is easy. I could do it too. It's not until you get into media that I have even respect for a day in my life, folks. Because like literally like having a camera on you. First of all, you gotta have the right camera. Let's start there. Because we all know the people who do it on their phones. And we know the people who got the Canons that put that money in because you can tell the quality, okay? So you gotta have the right camera and then you gotta have the right angle. I hate the where I'm looking at your chin, like, right? I gotta have lighting, angles, and then I gotta still like navigate my day. Yeah. And sometimes their family, especially shout out to the mom content creators. Y'all are on a whole nother level. They got like several kids. I don't know how y'all do it. Don't let your family member not act right. Cause it's like I'm trying to shoot this like one mom and I can't think of her right now. She's like, I love her dearly. She's in the South. Anyways. But she has the cutest little baby.
The Kirks? She just had a little boy?
No. Okay. This is a little girl. Okay. She has 2 girls. She got a girl that's like 14, 15, and then she has like a little baby that's probably about 2. Okay. The baby, y'all, has a personality out of this world. She is hilarious. And sometimes she ain't with the antics.
Oh, you're talking about Tatum and Taylor.
Maybe.
Okay.
But she be like, hey friends, I gotta go because my baby, she not having this right now. All right, bye. And then she like gotta turn off and like, I'm like, man, the baby just messed up that whole take. And I'm pretty sure that you had something really good for us, but you had to shut the slot because this baby is like, mom, I'm not in the mood for it. So I think like with all of that is a lot. Some people like Angel, Lakita Moore, I don't know if y'all keep up with Kev on Stage and like that whole crew. But some people actually do their life and they do the editing too because they can't afford to send it off. So like for me personally, just all the details that goes into it, even though it is like, bruh, I could put a camera on and you watch me get up too and let me make 100. It's the consistency too,
right? It is. You have to keep posting.
Maybe I don't want to get up today and show you, but I got to.
So let me say, I'm being a bit of an antagonist while my daughter actually gets paid from content. So let me not sit here and act like I am not actually making money off of content.
Shout out to Carter.
So I'm not gonna lie. Every time I post that girl, we get a nice little deposit into the Cash App. So, but we don't post consistently. So I agree because like trying to post consistently is hard because baby, we got homework. I gotta drop you off. We got things to do. So I'll give you that. Like it is hard to stay consistent. All of those things. I think there's my worry is just that's one of those jobs that has a danger in that we get caught up in watch. Because I tell my kids all the time, you sat there for 2 hours and watched somebody else play. But you didn't play. You just watched them live their life. And I think that's the hard part about being a content creator is they're creating content while they're making money off of our sedentary lives, our watching them, but not actually, I don't know, doing something. So you guys to me are different because your content is what is launching your business as opposed to someone who is making content about their makeup routine. But there's something for everybody. So I'm not saying here there's something for everybody. Because there's a content and there's something for everybody. There's a black lady who owns goats. And I love her. The relationship she has with her goats is so cute to me. She is awesome. And so I think there's so many different aspects and things that you can do. There's so much content out there. I think there's room for everybody at the table. And it is a beautiful thing. And so if that's your job, you got a real job.
Yeah, no, but seriously, and just no, I understand what you're saying, Pastor Man, but I think in all things we have to be temperate. In all things, sometimes it's nice to have that relief of watching somebody else's life because you want to escape your own real life, and I'm okay with that. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think that content creating is an actual real job, or are these just people just be playing with their phones or their lives, or just you not for any of this, and you're like, this is
because can you be temperate and be a content creator?
Yes. So let us know. Let us know what you think. And stay with us because we about to get all the way
in our feelings.
Mercy.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
What's good, everybody? We're back. You guys missed the behind the scenes. We got to do like a behind the scenes moment because we were still behind the scenes with the content creator. But we are in our segment called In My Feelings. And this is when we talk about all the things that's going to get you all the way in your feelings.
Mercy,
so come get
Lord.
all the feels. And today we are definitely going to get in our feelings because we are talking about playing house, right?
Ooh.
And so in this current economy, we know that rent is renting, right?
Yes.
That people can barely afford gas and eggs, and now you have people who can't maybe afford to live in a home. And I have seen this especially as a young adult person who deals with young adults spiritually. Homelessness among young adults is so high, and they don't think they're actually homeless because they're living with a friend.
Yep.
Or because they're living on someone's couch. They're at their friend's house or they're staying with their friend's mom. You're homeless, baby. You don't have a place to lay your head that is your considered permanent residence, right? And it's because they can't afford it. They just can't. I remember here in Huntsville, you used to be able to get an apartment for $425 on Bonnell, and you were good. And you could split the rent 3 ways.
That same apartment is now $1,000. It's insane.
And there's nothing in there.
And there's nothing in there. And they haven't updated nothing since
Same old building.
2000.
Same old building.
But you gonna pay $1,000, and so how can I pay $1,000 in rent and pay for car insurance and keep my car because I need a reliable car to go to work in order to make the money to pay the rent?
Oh, and minimum wage hasn't really gone up that much either since that time. So
At all. And so what do? So now I find this person. And they're like, I need a roommate, you need a roommate, I need a roommate. So let's just live together. But like we have people who are couples, they want to get married. They're even engaged. We're going to get married. But in our context, in our spiritual context, we're like, no, you can't live together before marriage. What if y'all start sleeping together? You know how we do, right? And so do you think that in this current economy that there is room for a culture shift? And maybe the rules or things that we say to people, young people, should change.
Why is everybody looking at me?
I have no problem looking at all of us in the room.
Man, that's
That's because we have houses.
Right.
We have roommates. We have permanent roommates.
That's a tough one. Because I know, me personally, I would not want to live with someone who I am in relationship with just yet. I want to make sure I'm clear head, clear mind. And I think if living with somebody who I'm either dating or potentially looking to have a long-term relationship with, I think that would start to confuse things. I think that would blur lines that I'm not looking to blur just yet because I want to have a clear head going into this, for me personally. But I do understand what you're saying, though, that's why I said it's a tough one. Because I get it.
Yeah.
I think that, okay, so for me, I've done both sides. So it's just like when you live with somebody else, it is hard to like stay away from like, we're not married. So, but like when it's easier, like, okay, today I'll make dinner. Tomorrow you make dinner. Today you take out the trash, I'll take out. So it's like a 50-50 give and take. But as far as the economy, it's shot right now. So it's just like the job that I'm working, at the end of the week, my check looks about $500. If I'm saving up, I'm taking $250 out for rent to come out on the 1st. After that, after car insurance, after I want to eat something, it's like I have to work 3 and 4 jobs, or I can get some sleep, get some rest, get some peace of mind, and have somebody in the next room. But it's just like you have to think about it in the sense of, is this something that I can handle? Is this something that I know that I can set a boundary and I'm not going to cross it, or the other person's not going to cross it? So I think it's a give and take situation where you have to play it by ear.
I don't know. I dated this guy once, and we were engaged. And I'm telling you all my business. So we were engaged. This is before I was engaged to my husband. We were engaged. And he came because we needed to go look for the wedding venue. We needed to just handle some things, right? Just get some things figured out. And so he was supposed to stay for like a weekend plus a day, right? And then we were looking at some potential houses, but they weren't going to be available until like 3 days later or something like that. So then he extended his stay, stayed 3 extra days, right? Separate rooms, like all that, separate rooms. And then it was like, oh, well, there is a cake testing, was like a wedding venue show that was coming up. So it was like another thing. So he ended up being there like 2 weeks. And I was like, you have got to get out of my house. It was so crazy. Like my mama called me and I was like, shh, don't say nothing. Mommy, if you're watching, I promise nothing happened. But like, I'm like, don't, it carried this weight of we're not supposed to be living together. Even though he was just visiting, but it was like the visit was getting extended and extended and extended and extended. And stuff started getting on my nerves. Stuff started driving me crazy. I started seeing things and I was like, is this what it's like to live with you? And I was like, oh no, never mind. I don't want to. And like you said, some people want to play house because they want to see those things. But to me, those are the things that are supposed to be seen under covenant. Because a covenant keeps you when you see the person at their worst, and when you're in with that person and you're seeing the rawness of that person. The covenant is what helps you minister to them in those spaces. But when there is no covenant, you do what to your toothpaste? Like you leave your shoes where? Nah, I'm straight. So I don't know. I definitely think that it's hard. I definitely think that you have to find workarounds to do that. But I tell even the people who I'm counseling sometimes, I'm like, please do not have no 2-year engagement. If you want to get married, go to the justice of the peace, go to the courthouse and get married and live together and then have a wedding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if we're gonna use this advice, we've got to give more realistic and practical rules alongside it than we were doing before. Before it was you got married, got engaged, you waited a year and a half to go get your. If you know you want to be married, go do it.
Yeah, I don't think it. I didn't wait a year. I was engaged in January. We were married by September, but I think that it's more so about a difference because two things were said. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between having a roommate that's a male and living with somebody who you're in a relationship with. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't think that anybody has a right or a place to tell somebody who their roommate should be, whether it's a male or female relative, whatever the case may be. Your roommate is your roommate. That's your business. I will say, if your roommate is of the opposite sex and you don't want church folks in your business, don't tell them. Just keep it to yourself. Just keep it to yourself because you don't owe anybody. You can live with a person of an opposite sex and not cross boundaries. That is reality. Now, am I encouraging people to do that? No, because that's not for everybody. Some people can't do that. But if we're talking about playing house, I look at that in the context of a relationship. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't do that only because, honestly, you need to enjoy, forget the moral side of things. You need to enjoy yourself. By yourself, for yourself, as long as you possibly can. Because once you get married,
be married forever.
That's it. You can't send them back. Can't send them out of your house, right? Well, you can, but are you going to? Right? Y'all get my point. You enjoy it, have peace, okay? Run around with no clothes on in your house if you want to. Have the music loud. Cook as much as you want. Or don't cook at all. Right. Wash laundry if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. If stuff is on the floor, don't worry about it. It's you, right? I want everybody. I'm looking at Karen. I want everybody to experience that freedom
of living by yourself.
If you can. Yeah. So that's my whole thing about relationships and stuff. Because, man, I got the rest of my life for you to get on my nerves about not putting the toilet seat down and not washing the dishes and you wash the dishes and you didn't sweep, like clean the kitchen.
So let me throw this caveat. What if you can't get married? Like what if there's a visa issue or immigration issue? What if there's a family issue, right? Mm-hmm. But you're in this relationship, you want to be together, but you can't afford, listen, let me tell you places where you should not be engaged for long periods of time. New York and California. Because the rent itself is expensive. You want to marry me? Okay, well, let's go. Yeah. Today. Because
right now.
But right now, because us living apart and paying $2,300 in rent.
For a 1-bedroom.
For a studio.
Yes.
Where I can look from my bed into my kitchen.
Yes. Iron and flip the pancakes.
Yes. And then it's like.
But this is after you done had your pre-engagement, premarital, pre-relation. You done had your counseling. Don't do it before you that.
Don't do that before that. You know what I'm saying? You need the wisdom. But I definitely think, and again, I am not advocating for living with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. I think that absolutely opens you up to treading on dangerous ground and to not being able to be clear-headed because you're going to see things. You're going, look at me. You're going to see things. But seeing those things, again, is supposed to happen under covenant. You're going to see things, and now you can't see clear. I don't like you as a person. No, that's not what you said when you was looking me in my eye at the park. But now, because you're at the house, and there's conflict, or there's tension, it now skews everything. So I think you do need to be able to live by yourself. But I do think part of that is an American way of life. Like, if you look at when, who was it, Jacob went and proposed, he was like, hey,
I'm serious.
You gonna come to our house. And they were like, well, let her say goodbye to her family. And they was like, no, today.
Right now.
Right now. You ready to go? And they were like, do you want to go? And she was like, okay. And that was it. Like, so in our culture, if you go to other cultures, when you may live in a hostel or a home or a place where you and 12 other people live there. You know what I'm saying? So I just think we have to be careful about this idea that everybody is running around like horny teenagers and cannot coexist without, wanting to, all the things. So yeah, that's my take on it.
I don't know, because I feel like for me, when I was younger, adults were always like, no, you can't live with a man, because what if he come out the shower one day and the steam behind him says, and I'm just like, what? And I'm like,
no
what?
Commercials.
And they're like, well, you're living together because like you're fond of him. And I'm just like, yeah, because we're cool. Like, that's the homie. But I can see both sides of it, but I can also see that I'm tired of working 6, 7, 12 jobs. And so if that means that you can be on this side and I can be on this side, I get both sides, because I also like to live alone. So I don't know.
Yeah. Then there's also the other caveat they don't talk about. I also have seen, like, now we done tried it. I don't like you. But we done signed a lease together and we can't leave. Now what?
That part.
Ain't no way. Y'all keep y'all peace.
Be
able to kick them out. Okay, I advocate for that. Like, or be able to leave.
Be able to leave. I just encourage it. Like she said, having your independence as long as you possibly can, because it's important to know yourself and to be able to work through your own triggers and your own stuff, right? Because you think you're really neat till you live by yourself and you're like, I'm not neat.
Right.
You think you can't wait to get in the house and cook for this man, and you get in the house, you're like, I'm not cooking nothing. You know what I mean? And so I think getting to know yourself is super duper important. But I also encourage couples, like, if you're in a financial situation where you are having to compromise in order to live, you need to reach out to your community, to your village. Sometimes you gotta go home. Can we just be honest in this? Like, sometimes you gotta be like, I can't do this by myself. I need to come home.
I mean, I want to end by this. I don't think we use prayer enough in these type of situations. You need to come to God and tell God that you want your own place. Say where you want it to be. Say what you have, and he'll show up. I mean, that literally happened. I always tell this story, but my husband, when we were house shopping, he literally said, this is how much I want to pay for a mortgage. This type of house I had. 2 years later, God blessed him with the mortgage amount with an additional 600 square footage than what he asked for. But he literally spoke it when the realtor said, what do you want? He said, this is what I want. And God blessed, and it happened because he prayed and moved. So, like, prayer is real, folks. You tired of living at your mama house or your daddy house, your grandma house, and you want your own place? Tell God, hey, this is what I would like. He says he wants us to ask, right? So seek God in all of this. And don't just play house. Like, that bothers me because it's reality, but it bothers me. Don't just play house because of your financial situation. That really, really bothers me. That let's get, as you said, Summer, like, if you're okay with, okay, I'm cool with living this person and it works out for me, that's different. But I don't want you to feel like you're in a bind and this is literally all I can do.
Because you know what exposed that? And I know we got to get ready to wrap up COVID. Because people were living together for financial security, or just we gonna see if it worked out, and all of a sudden you was trapped in the house with them for 2 years and you couldn't leave over something that was supposed to be an experiment.
So seriously, seek God in this. He says he owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. He didn't say the cattle amount. He told us the hills.
Right.
It could be beyond numbers, right? So God's got this. But what do y'all think? Is this okay? By the way, the parents that's watching, don't be yelling at your child saying, no, right? We really want to have open, honest conversation about this. So listen to what they have to say,
Because a lot of our young people are I hate to say shacking up, but they're living together
they're
because
doing this.
they can't
From
afford.
ends to an ends.
They can't afford to do anything else, and so because of sometimes the judgment of the church, they're not forthcoming, and you're like, how did I get this grandbaby? Well, I mean, they needed rent money.
Okay, now,
but I digress.
Now we into a whole nother in my feelings.
I digress.
As you can see, when youth ministries, young adults get together,
It's a good time.
We like the time. It's good. It's good.
All the tea.
oh God, I hate clock it. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh,
I'm enjoying it. But y'all are on it.
Oh,
Don't cancel me. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
We got it. It's in our culture. So.
It took me forever to come around, period, too. So I'm just late. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Excuse me. I'm sorry. We all tongue-tied and everything. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Our Cute Table Talks, where we keep it real,
where we keep it relevant, and where we keep it raw.
All
We'll
right.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.